Hello everyone, my name is King and welcome to my video of Pokemon Black 2 using only Pokemon from the Johto region. This means I can only use Pokemon from the Gold, Silver, and Crystal games released all the way back in 2001. This also means that Pokemon like Gligar and Yanma, for example, even though they got evolutions in Gen 4, I will not be allowed to use them. This means Pokemon like Magby and Elekid won't be able to evolve any further past their evolution stages. The rules of my challenge are on screen now, so pause if you want to read those and all that. They will also be in the description as well. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's start attempt 1. I start the run by choosing my starter, Cyndaquil from Bianca in Aspertia City, which I named Newbark after the starting town in the Johto region. I then head to Route 20 and Flakesi Ranch to catch an Azurill, a Sunkern, and a Marie, all of which will be relevant later. They all catch successfully, and I head back to the starting town to fight Charon, the first gym leader of Pokemon Black 2. Charon specializes in a normal type Pokemon, and he leads with a Patrat. I lead with Olivine the Marine. I start the battle by using Thunder Wave to fish for some full paras while Para uses Tackle. I then go on the offensive and use Thundershock to do some damage, and then while Charon goes for a workup. I then keep using Thundershock as it keeps hitting pretty strong tackles, which have been buffed in Generation 5 to over 50 base power, which is a pretty big increase from the 35 base power it was in previous generations. I then take out the Parrot with a few Thundershocks, and then Charon sends out his ace, Lillipup, which is pretty strong at this point in the game, and is shown by doing over what seems to be 13 damage to Newbark with just one tackle without no workup boosts. I then go for another Ember, bringing Lillipup down into the yellow, while Lillipup retaliates with a very strong tackle, almost killing Newbark. I then switch to Ekritique, which is kind of bad, because Ekritique is far more valuable than Sunkern, but it ultimately has to go down in order for me to get the first gym badge. I do use healing items in battle, which is why I use a potion on Newbark, my Cyndaquil, but after Ekritique goes down, I then bring out Newbark and use a quick attack to achieve the first gym badge of the run. After the first gym, Marie evolves into Flaffy, which is a pretty nice power increase, since Flaffy will definitely be able to help take more hits. And Cyndaquil also evolves into Quilava as well, which, like Flaffy, is a very nice power increase to the team, and will definitely provide some much needed bulk and power in the upcoming gym fights. After my two strongest members evolve, I go to the inside of Burbank Complex and catch a Magby, which is the only other fire type of the run. And like I mentioned in the intro, it cannot evolve into Magmar or Magmortar since they are not Gen 2 Pokemon. I then go to fight Roxy, and she specializes in poison type Pokemon. She leads a Coughing while I lead Flaffy. Like the previous fight, I start with a Thunder Wave to hopefully get some full paras to slow down the Coughing's attacks. However, it breaks through the first turn and lands a pretty weak tackle. I then go for a Thundershock to take advantage of its poor special defense stat, and I keep using Thundershock as it keeps retaliating with weak tackles. Roxy then uses a Super Potion, while I use another Thundershock, bringing it down into the yellow after two Thundershocks. The Weezing then goes down to a third Thundershock, and Roxy brings out her ace Whirlipede, which is kind of threatening with moves like Pursuit, which ends up happening to my Mareep. And Pursuit is a unique move where if you switch out your Pokemon, Pursuit's damage is actually doubled, so it would normally go from a 40 base power Dark type move to an 80 base power Dark type move, leaving my Flaffy with only 8 HP. Luckily, I am able to switch out safely to Newbark, my newly evolved Quilava, and take out the Whirlipede with 2 Embers, achieving the second gym badge. After the second gym, I catch 3 Pokemon that I add to the team. I catch a Zubat from Castelia Sewers, an Onix from Relic Passage, and an Eevee from the Secret Garden Spot. My Zubat evolves into a Golbat and then a Crobat, which will be very useful for the third gym. My Onix also evolves into a Steelix from a Held Metal Coat, and my Eevee evolves into an Umbreon, which is very defensive and bulky, which I do need for my team. I then go to fight the third gym leader, Burr, who specializes in bug-type Pokemon, and he isn't too hard to take care of, since Cianwood, my newly evolved Crobat, takes out his lead Swadloon with a wing attack. My Steelix takes out his Dwebble with a few smackdowns. And Leavanny goes down to 1 wing attack, achieving a very easy 3rd bad. Now, the 4th gym I lost the footage for, but all you need to know is that Steelix was able to sweep, and my Flaffy evolved into Ampharos. And just in time for the 5th gym, Suncurrent evolves into Sunflora with a Sunstone I found in the Relic Passage. I then go to fight Clay, who specializes in Ground-type Pokemon. My Crobat takes out his Crocorock, my Heracross takes out his Excadrill with a Fighting Gem boosted Brick Break, and my Sunkern takes out his Sandslash with a Giga Drain, achieving a very flawless 5th gym. After a pretty swift and easy 5th gym, my Quilava then evolves into Typhlosion, which is a very welcome addition to the team, since we will be fighting a lot more Ice and Steel types in the future from Team Plasma, and Stab Flamethrowers as well are going to be very nice in the late game, and it's going to be especially nice in the upcoming gym fight against Skyla, who uses flying type Pokemon, which we're having right now. Skyla's Swoobat does go down to a Crunch from my Steelix, which walls it pretty well, and the Teemu Gyarados, that is Swanna, goes down from a Thunder Punch from my Ampharos, which, you know, also handled the Swanna pretty well, obviously. And this is where the battle kind of drags on for a bit, and this is because of the Skarmory in the back, which is very defensive, and it does take a while because it does set up an agility, and it's Seal Wings, and it does all this stuff, but I do take it down with a couple Flame Charges and Flame Wheels, which gets me a pretty easy 6th gym badge, all things considered, and it was pretty easy. For the 6th gym, I then head outside Twist Mountain to catch a Skarmory of my own, which will be very useful in the upcoming fights since it is immune to ground type moves and is really defensive overall. I also want to highlight this fight as well in the inside of Twist Mountain, which is a team battle with Bianca. And this is in Black 2 and White 2, this is where fights start to pick up in pace a lot. And what I mean by that is that when you're going to start fighting trainers in the later half of the game, they're going to start having fully evolved Pokemon, especially Ace trainers, who have like really threatening Pokemon. Like there's like one outside of Humalast City who has like a Drapion and a Starmie, which is pretty threatening if you have the wrong team for it. But these aren't even Ace trainers. This is just a hiker team, and I wanted to highlight this fight because it's really dangerous. If you're not prepared and you're not careful, if you just run in, you're gonna lose Pokemon. Luckily here, I didn't lose any Pokemon because my team is very well equipped to handle a lot of these Pokemon. Like my Crobat can take a lot of Rock Slides from an Excadrill and kill a Darmanitan with the Acrobatics. It's pretty easy. But this is just a reminder to be prepared when you're playing games like these, especially some of the harder titles, because if you're not prepared, you're gonna lose. I then head to route, I think this is like 13, and catch a Gligar, which will be very useful with Eviolite, and will make an appearance later in the story. After the long trek to the 7th gym, I go to fight Drayden, who specializes in Dragon-type Pokemon, which on paper are very threatening with moves like Dragon Dance and Dragon Claw to deal significant portions of damage, which was definitely true. But this fight is actually pretty easy since I essentially competitive Pokemon my way through the entirety of the fight by setting up 3 layers of spikes and Stealth Rocks with both my Skarmory and my Steelix. This is to ensure that I do a lot of chip damage to the Hexorus in the back, because I don't want that thing Dragon Dancing. His Drapion does go down to a Mega Horn though, and the Flygon does go down to 2 Brick Breaks, so pretty easy, you know. And his last Pokemon, Heracross, takes about a third of his HP from the Spikes and Stealth Rocks, and it goes down to a 1 Mega Horn, easily winning me the 7th gym. Now, like I mentioned before with the double hikers in Twist Mountain, you gotta be prepared with these fights because a rogue crit or you just underestimating a Pokemon will definitely get you a really bad result. And this happens here with, I think, Zinzalin's, that's his name, his Cryogonal, which I think I'm faster, or I think I can just get through confusion somehow, but that actually turns out to be very bad and wrong. because my Heracross ends up hitting itself in confusion, which is bad alone, right? But then the Cryogonal lands a critical hit Ice Beam, bringing my Heracross down to 8 HP, and then it kills itself with confusion. That just sucks. I then go to fight the 8th gym leader, Marlin, who does specialize in water-type Pokemon, and is a bit of a break. He's a bit of an easier gym leader, and his Pokemon are fairly easy to take down, except his lead, Caracosta, which he does lead with, who has Shell Smash, which is an incredibly threatening setup move, but luckily I'm able to take it out with a couple discharges and signal beams, and the Wailord also goes down to a handful of discharges as well, and the Jellicent in the back actually goes down to Sunflora, which I'm actually very surprised it's doing so well in this fight. Good job, Sunflora. Turns out you were the right Pokemon to keep alive. And that wins us a pretty easy 8th gym. I then fight Colress, who is the evil big bad, right? Or I guess the person under Getsus, I guess. I don't really know. But he's incredibly threatening as well if you're not prepared. And luckily, I am prepared, because he leads with a Magneton, which is kind of exploitable, but also kind of not, because his Magneton can hit everything on my team for a really solid amount of damage, especially my Octillery, which I bring along because I will need him for the Getsus fight, but I set up a Stealth Rock with my Steelix. Well, it takes a Flash Cannon, and it keeps continuing to take Flash Cannons, which actually do a very sizable amount of damage, and I end up going for a Dig. Now, this Magneton does know Sturdy, and Sturdy acts as a Focus Sash in Gen 5, where if you're at full HP and you get knocked out by a move, you'll actually survive that move. So this eventually developed, if you're really into Pokemon, you'll know that it developed into a very common strat back then, known as Fear, where you would essentially have a level 1 Rattata with a Focus Sash, the move Endeavor, which, if you use that move, it will bring your opponent's HP down to whatever HP you're at. And Quick Attack, so really quickly, while I wait for my Steelix to kill this Magneton, what would essentially happen is you would have a Pokemon, it would use a really strong move on the Rattata, survive because of the Focus Sash, use Endeavor, and bring the opponent down to 1 HP, and then use Quick Attack and take it out. And it was incredibly threatening back then. But since my Steelix is now done taking out a really bulky Magneton, I then decide to switch to my, sorry, brain fart, my Typhlosion, and my Typhlosion is incredibly strong, since it proceeds to take out 3 Pokemon on Colress's team with just Flamethrowers alone. No Charcoal, no Fire Gem, just the pure melting force of a Flamethrower coming out of a Typhlosion. And this is convenient because his Magnezone knows Explosion, which is just really scary. The Metang is just threatening, and the Kling knows Giga Impact and Shift Gears, which is also really threatening, so I'm glad Typhlosion took it out. And last is his Behemoth, which my Umbreon does take care of. And yeah, it's just not that bad. The Behemoth can't really do anything to Umbreon though, because it knows like Calm Mind, Psychic Energy Ball, and I think Shadow Ball. So yeah, this Behemoth goes down in a couple of hits. Now, after this fight is a montage of me beating the crap out of Getsus and the Elite Four. And it doesn't feel right to leave the champion fight as a voiceover, so enjoy that too.
ay papi. La fama, mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama. La fama, mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama.
Yo no puedo olvidarme de tu beso, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu sonrisa, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu boca, que toda mi piel me eriza. Yo no puedo olvidarme de tu beso, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu sonrisa, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu boca, que me eriza, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yo no puedo olvidarme de tu beso, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu sonrisa, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu boca, que toda mi piel me eriza. Yo no puedo olvidarme de tu beso, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu sonrisa, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu boca, que me eriza, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yo no puedo olvidarme de tu beso, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu sonrisa, yo no puedo olvidarme de tu boca, que toda mi piel me eriza.
Y yo te lo doy, tú dime lo que quieres, yo es mío. Pide lo que quiera y esta noche voy. Hago lo que quiera y no lo pienso hoy. Salgo para la calle, por olvidarme hoy. Dime lo que quieres, yo es mío.
Coming closer, know that I'm a mess. Tangled up in wires, I can't catch my breath. I run, I run, I run. Falling deeper, I cannot confess. Drowning in the chaos, I can't catch my breath. I run, I run, I run. Catch my Coming closer, know that I'm a mess. Tangled up in wires, I can't catch my breath. I run, I run, I run. Falling deeper, I cannot confess. Drowning in the chaos, I can't catch my breath. I run, I run.
Más eso de un fin de semana.
Baby, para, baby, para, baby, para, baby, para, baby, para, baby, para, baby, para.
Enquanto parede, vai, 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 enquanto parede, enquanto parede, vai, vai, enquanto parede.
Más eso de un fin de semana. Só lemon. Ela chega e desencana. Com passo bem solto, passo bem solto, passo bem solto. Más eso de un fin de semana.
Baby, para, baby, para, baby, para, baby, para, baby, para.
Alright, Hydreigon. Alright, Super Fang. We're faster? Holy, oh my god. Huge. It goes for Dragon Pulse? Okay, I think Crobat's dead. Oh my god, Crobat. Acrobatics. Hold up. Crobat. Unlucky. That's a heal. That's a heal turn. Okay. Super Fang? Right? Yeah. That's fine. Okay, we're gonna Super Fang. Perfect, we hit again. Okay, both Acrobatics and Fly are physical moves. We're 100% faster. We're gonna go for Fly because it has higher base power, which should 100% kill. Because Acrobatics... Oh, wait. Acrobatics had more technically, because we're not holding a held item. Yeah. Oh, we just... That was a range too. Okay, rip Crobat. No special attack boost. That's actually huge. Okay. Crobat is fine. It's fine, it's gone down. Olivine is our next best bet here. I'm really hoping this does not bring out Dragon Pulse. Okay, please. If it brings out Haxorus, we hard switch to Skarmory, because it can I think X's or Dual Chop Dragon Dance. Aggron with Earthquake. Okay, so you in the audience, right? You may be asking yourself, why do you have a Gligar on your team? Isn't Gligar like super terrible? Yes, it is. However, Gen 5 introduced the held item, the Eviolite, which boosts the holder's defense and special defense by 50%, basically making this Gligar an absolute tank. This Gligar is going to like murder this Aggron. Double Edge doesn't matter. I do not care. Look at that. Look at that damage. Okay, that's fine. Let's go for a Swords Dance. Somehow this Aggron's faster, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Let's actually go for Bulldoze. This Aggron knows Rockhead as an ability, which negates all recoil. Gligar, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Lapras, that's fine. It's currently targeting with a Ice Beam. Let's go to Olivine because it has the best chance. Well, actually no, that's a mistake. Gligar's like useless here. Gligar's useless for the rest of the fight, and we're frozen. Okay, as a reminder, I do use held items in battle. It's just how I play. It makes the game more fun for me, so it doesn't matter too much. And if you have a problem with it, I don't care. Okay, Ice Beam. This is gonna hurt. So right now we're trying to preserve Skarmory for the Haxorus or the Archeops. That's fine. That's 100% fine. 100% fine. Okay. We didn't bring a water type, which is kind of fine, but it would have made our lives a bit easier. Sweet, nice level up. This is the Haxorus. Okay. It has to see a kill with Earthquake. 100%. We're gonna go to Lava Ridge, the Skarmory. This Skarmory is single-handedly responsible for killing half the Elite Four. We are going to set up an agility. That's fine. We're fat. We should be. This is a matter of speed control now. We're going to set up a Swords Dance. Right now, Haxorus is at a +1 Dragon Dance, which increased attack and speed by 1 stage. This Haxorus is incredibly threatening now and will wipe me if I'm not careful. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go for X-Scissor. It has higher base power. And this Skarmory is incredibly defensive. It has like 200 defense. That's really bad. It's gonna sweep me, I think. Okay. That's plus... Oh my god, this Haxorus is actually really threatening. Okay. Swords Dance. It doesn't go for it! Oh my god, I should've... I got greedy. Oh my god. This is a maxed attack, max speed Haxorus pointing right at my Skarmory. That is incredibly scary, and I may have just wiped. Dual Chop. Oh my god! Okay, this is huge. This is unbelievably insane. We are currently sitting at a +6 Skarmory with a +6 attack Skarmory with +1 speed. It will nuke this Drotagon. That okay? Skarmory, rip, my friend. See ya, Skarmory. Thank you for playing, buddy. Okay. She is currently holding a full restore in the back. We gotta bring out... Let's go to Stark. The goal here is to slow this thing down. Okay. It didn't go for it. She's probably saving it for last. The goal is to get it down into Defeatist. So Stark, you're gonna go down. I'm sorry, buddy. If you live, this is huge. Oh my god, Stark. Oh my god. Oh my god. Stark! Oh my god! Buddy! That's Defeatist. Defeatist has it, Archeops' attack and special attack. Oh my god. No way. We're switching here because Ampharos can kill this. Yeah. We win. No flinch, no crit. That's really bad. Okay. I'm gonna heal. Because this run was already painful enough as it is. We had 2 deaths. Ripped to my friend Heracross. He would have like ripped this fight to shreds. I'm so upset that Heracross went down to a crit Ice Beam into self-hit confusion. Oh my god. And that, my friends, is Pokemon Black 2 using only Pokemon from the Johto region. Oh my god. What a fight. What a fight. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, I'm very surprised that this team worked out so well. And I'm super proud of every team member. Skarmory, like, I completely forgot I had the Rocky Helmet equipped. And it just proves that Skarmory is just a phenomenal bring to this Elite Four. Oh my god. Shout out to Umbreon for living that Chandelure Fire Blast on like 36 HP. Unbelievable. Shout out to Skarmory and to Ampharos and to Typhlosion and to like every Pokemon I caught and helped me triumph. Even Sunflora, I'm very surprised Sunflora even like did something, but I'm proud of it. You know, helped me with the Marlin fight. And yeah, that was my attempt at Pokemon Black 2. And if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and all that. And have a happy new year as well. This will be my last video of 2025, and hopefully I can continue this whole YouTube hobby I've been doing for about a couple months now, and who knows. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to what else I can do in 2026. And if you have any suggestions of what runs I should do next or anything else, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Other than that, have a happy new year, everyone.